Hello all, my name is Erta the Wanderer, and I come out of the jungle today to talk once again with one of our most esteemed generals, the great Lizard Wizard. How are we doing, Wizard?
Fantastic. How are you?
So far, so good. We have had a very big event recently in AOS,
Yeah.
remarkably underwhelming for everyone who wasn't us, and to
hmm
some extent to us. But Warhammer Fest brought us a whole lot of new stuff to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot like models, uh armies, sub factions. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, and memes. Good lord, I don't understand the memes, but they're a thing.
Yep.
Yeah, for the most part, uh, very happy with what we've seen so far,
Yeah,
and
I haven't seen a bad model from Games Workshop in a long time.
up for debate. But yes, for the most part, I agree.
I know you're feeling about the warband.
Yeah, like 2/3 of the warband is fugly as heck. The rest is fine.
The crab, the
Uh,
Ideneth warband crab.
well, let's bring that up then. Yes, we've got the Einith brand, and apparently everyone's darling, this little crustacean. I,
Yep.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't understand the hype. It's a beautiful model, but I don't know why people have gone to fetishistic levels of adoration for this thing.
Because everything evolves to crab. It's a meme.
I guess? It's definitely a meme. I can't go 2 feet on Reddit without seeing this thing pop up. And to be honest, I
Yep.
like the fish better. And the little
Yep.
eely dude. The little
I
eely dude
mean,
is just amazing.
the best underwater thing they've done is still it's not Volturnos, it's Lorthrian, whatever the guy is with
Lothran.
the yeah, the
Yeah.
guy with the
The
squid.
hallmark of great model, terrible rules.
Yeah, but he's a scribe and he has an octopus
Yep.
because of ink. I
Yep.
don't know. It's perfect.
And
But crab is
it's.
great.
Yeah. We'll see how the rules roll. Because as we know from GW, if the model's great, the rules are terrible.
Oh
Like,
no, purple.
without exception.
I mean, Bellacore is pretty good,
Yeah, granted.
and
I don't think Bellacore is their most stunning model though. I think it's
that's true.
good, but not the best.
I can respect that.
And the crab is godly, so how bad does his rules have to be?
I don't know if he dies, you lose the game.
Fair enough. But yeah, this is a nifty little warband. We've got a Nikellian king on foot. We've got a Namarti. We have a not a Namarti, but it's there.
Yeah,
Like, what is the actual elf, non-blind elf dude? Is he just supposed to be an eel rider, which is why he's got a mini one?
yeah. I think he's just an Achelian of some kind.
Huh. I mean, it's weird, but I think the models are neat. I like the lantern that the main guy has, and like I said, I like the fish. I really do. I think that there's a lot of potential there for painting.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think he's supposed to be like one of the guys that rides on the back of the turtles, like one of those.
Oh, okay, so like
Achelian.
the handlers?
Yeah, because he's got like that crook, the like sickle crook thing, and then a net. So I don't
Oh
know.
no, the
I
main guy's
love.
an Achillean king. I'm talking about the guy with the sword and shield behind him.
Oh yeah, man. I don't know. Maybe he's also like one of the guys that ride. I don't know. He's kind of got that ill rider vibe.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm guessing is he's just one of the eel knights on foot.
The lionfish is also great though. Like
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't get the crab's better, but the lionfish is also good.
But yeah, this also like I think this covers one of the rumor engines with the net and the like flotsam, or sorry,
Yeah, and we saw something with hooks as well.
yeah.
Oh yes,
So,
but the ill that's a great little mermaid flotsam. Yep.
yeah, it means parts of a ship thrown overboard in order to reduce weight. Like people use
Yes.
flotsam and jetsam and all the various words interchangeably. They actually mean specific things. But yeah, it's a nifty little warband. We'll have to see if it actually has rules that matter.
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, you just substitute it in
Mm-hmm.
as a different thing.
Yeah. We also have new Stormcast because GW has been just so restraining of themselves. They finally just decided,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
here we
been
go.
like 2 years.
It has been 2 years before since they've updated the massively bloated Stormcast line.
Yeah, it's fine.
They have like what 12-foot troop options now.
It's a lot.
It's quite a lot, yes.
But
But
oh my goodness, I love them.
yeah, there's a lot of people who like the Spear guys better than standard Liberators. They're less chunky, more streamlined. I'm going to be
Yeah.
honest, the Lion Paladin guy is not my favorite design. I
He looks like a beast, though.
He does, but I also don't know how he sees anything.
I mean, I don't know that he, like, needs to. You don't have to dodge when you've got that much armor.
Yeah, it's just he's going every time he raises his hand to hit someone with he's gonna jab himself with that Paladin spike.
Oh, I assumed those are, like, mounted and fixed, and then his arms just moved underneath him, but I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, none of the armor in this game is reasonable.
I
Like, they
know
put...
this is just a head and shoulders above the other less reasonable armor.
That's fair. I do like that they're keeping with the trend of, like, having more gender diversity in the Stormcast. Like, there's some new female sculpts for the Stormcast. That makes me happy. Um,
I mean, up till now, any Liberator could have been a lady with how chunky and huge their armor is.
yeah, but I like that they're, like, actually... I'm hoping there's, like, some... Because they've got the unhelmeted versions. I hope that means we're going to get some good femme head sculpts that you can, like...
So far, I haven't seen any,
still
but we'll see.
Other stuff.
Yep, they are also led by the Spear of Sigmar. We already have the Hammer of Sigmar. We now have the Spear of Sigmar. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like the wings. I really liked the spectral rings, like that was made out of light that they had going on their adjudicators and the like, and
or prosecutors. Yeah.
Right, prosecutors. That's it. And I think the feathers just makes her look like a Saint Celestine ripoff.
I can see that. But she's kind of like I love it.
Yeah.
I like the pose. I love the twin tail comet for the collar. I don't know.
Yep.
It makes me.
The purity seals are cool. The whole like twin tailed neck vambrace thing is neat.
Yep. I like the falcon head on her knee plate. Like, I don't know, the whole sculpt is beautiful.
Yeah, it's not the first time they've done that, but yes.
Yeah, it just ties together so many elements.
Yep. I'm going to be honest, I would hate painting this thing. This thing looks like a nightmare to paint.
Oh, yeah, you got to do it in subassembly. Like, even just for the frickin' cape. Like, yeah. But it's beautiful.
Good, it is. I'm wondering why it has IDK writing on the stairs, but I wonder if that means anything. Yeah,
I don't know.
These also come with lore tidbits. You know the whole hey, we just had a major update to the lore where Stormcast can't be reforged anymore. Oops, never mind. These guys can.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah,
they just wrote their way up.
They just completely rewrote that because Stormcast can't.
That's what makes Stormcast.
Yeah. And so this major plot point is now entirely irrelevant, even before the story where the original plot point was put into place is over. So it's hard to take that entirely seriously.
I gotta say, I'm happy about the spearmen. One, I like the look of their shields better. Two,
yes.
I like spears. Like they they're my favorite weapon. So anytime a unit can have spears, I always like to use spears. It's one of the reasons I like running hordes. It's a good reason to run spears.
I
So
mean,
that
in
alone
general,
makes
they're
me
better
happy.
weapons.
Yeah. Like, why would you not want a sword with a really long handle instead of a sword with a short handle?
Well, because you want an axe with a really long handle, because halberds are the tits.
That's fair.
But yeah, and so yeah, all these guys can reforge even through the cloud of doom that's covered all the realms now, which was confirmed when they were shown off. So yeah, our screw up kind of screwed up everything, not just Shaman. Yay!
Oops.
Oops. And the Spear of Sigmar has specific lore about how how Stormcasts begin to lose themselves if they're reforged too often.
Yep. Yep.
She's becoming more and more a like monster hunter berserker because she's losing herself.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it makes her look really awesome and kind of incompetent.
Okay, what is the little critter on the back of her base? I have been staring at that thing forever. Is it like some
I
rabid squirrel? Like,
I
what
don't
is it?
have it on this one. Is it like behind her?
Yeah, it's behind her on the tree. There's like this little tawny critter. I think it's a bushy tail pointing up, and then like an angry gaping mouth. It could just be a plant. I don't know, but it looks
I
like
can't
a
see it
rabid
from
squirrel.
the angle we have on screen. We've got him from the front.
Gotcha.
But honestly, not sure. But yeah, for all you Stormcast people out, you have new Stormcast, which puts you up into the 40 kits to work with.
Yep.
A
I'm glad I
lot.
didn't sell my Stormcast. I've got like 7,000 points of them that I have not played in over 4 years. Like I didn't even play any of the second edition Stormcast. I bought it all. It just sits. But I'm glad I haven't gotten rid of it because they keep supporting it.
Yep. What rules we know so far is the big guys have a 2-up save inherently, which is about as tough as they should be, considering there's the tanky part of what's supposed to be, but isn't a tanky army.
Yeah, all Stormcast should have a 3-up. Just
pretty much. If you're not going to give them anything else, at least give them the heavy armor they look to have.
Yep.
KGW, exactly. We know you're not as bad at this as you keep making us think you are.
And give every Sigmarite weapon Rend 1. Like it's made out of Sigmarite. There's not much of that shit going around.
I mean, we can say that about every weapon in the game because all weapons are supposedly made out of super unobtainium. Our weapons are made out of starlight metal. We have Aether Quartz weapons. We have the KO has their golden bullets and stuff.
Gold.
Yeah, if everything in the setting had Rend based on the fact that it was made out of something special, everyone would have Rend.
That's fair. But I mean, all the elves do. Oh no, never mind. They don't. Only some of it.
Yep. And remember, even sun metal weapons aren't necessarily sun metal weapons. Sorry, Great Bladers. Screw you.
Yeah.
We also got to see a good chunk of the new vampires, including my new favorite model, the Mother of Nightmares. Goodness gracious, yes. Just look at her.
Yeah.
That is one heck of a monster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty. I like it.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to be honest, a lot of people think it looks janky, but I think that makes sense. It's a monster. It's not supposed to look normal. It also looks like it's going to be a nightmare to transport because GW just keeps doing that.
Yeah.
Look at all these spindly bits. But yeah.
It's a lot of fragile pieces.
Yep, we got to during Warhammer Fest, we got to see a whole bunch of the new vampires, including like Wolf Rider ones, the fact that they're getting new Blood Knights, new dire wolves, new fell bats. They're essentially
dire wolves look so good.
I know a whole lot of these old model ranges that were even older than the old Skaven and Seraphon are finally getting replaced. Zombies we knew about a long time ago, but they were the oldest kit in the game, and it wasn't close.
It gives me hope for Croxagores and Salamanders.
Hope is the first step on the road to disappointment. I'm getting so much mileage out of that quote. But regardless, these guys look great. Even if their aesthetic is not your thing, they are just really well sculpted. I do not see these things aging poorly.
Agreed.
Like, unless they somehow manage to animate their models in the future, you know. But
No thanks. Don't want.
you don't want little robots walking around?
Nope.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's like they would outnumber me. I have too many armies.
You'd
If
have.
Skynet ever happens, I'm screwed.
That's fair. But yeah, so we got to see a good chunk of their army, and we've gotten to see more since, but we're not going to be covering that today, unfortunately.
Hmm.
But these are just a lot of really fun models.
Yeah, like all the sculpts. Like Games Workshop might flub it sometimes on the rules, but they always nail it on the sculpts. And
Yep.
those at least, like when I buy something, that's always how I look at it. Like
To be
I'm
honest,
buying models that I like. I expect the rules to get screwed up at some point.
yeah. But to be honest, I wasn't expecting them to save their better models for later. Like usually they blow their load really early.
Yeah.
But we got like skeletons and zombies first, and now we get all the heroes. That never happens.
And the destruction.
Yep. Oh yes, we have a new god. A god who's directly opposed to us, and apparently has what looks like a slan face taxidermied and plastered to his base. That's fun.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yep. But yeah, we have Kragnos, the Lord of Destruction, and one of two golden models. He can be taken in every Destruction army, just like
Nagash?
Nagash can be taken in every Death army. And from what we know about him, he's going to be fairly tanky. He's really magic resistant, like impossible to hurt with spells, and rather resilient outside of that.
Well, I mean, he's at least not that bad for. He's got to roll.
He gets to roll
Eight
3d6, and he has to roll
Oh,
better
three,
than the
right.
casting roll. Which,
Right.
not
Oh,
what
that's
you
true.
rolled, what you need
Yes,
to
yes.
get to cast the spell, which means he's
Yeah, the cast
always
spell.
going to unbind your stuff. Just don't target him. He's a big model. He's just one guy. Tarp hit him, make him feel awesome by killing your skinks, and leave him alone. But man, this guy is veiny. I didn't notice that the first time.
Yep. I really like. I just pulled up the Games Workshop one, and they have an alternate paint scheme where it's like a green patinaed copper for all of his stuff, and that's beautiful.
Yeah, because
Like-
he was in prison so long in the realm of metal, it wore rub off on him.
Yeah. So if I do if I end up getting one, which I probably will, even if I don't play with him, just because I like the sculpt.
I mean, yeah, he's a pretty model. I'm gonna do the same with the Mother of Nightmares because I just love how she looks.
Yeah. The other like the other vampire that's like the Mother of Nightmares, but is the dude, like has some serious Nosferatu vibes going on.
Yes, yeah, they're the same kit, so
Yep.
build which one you like. But yeah, so in general, that's what AOS got. There's some other things that the Fest covered
Oh,
that
yeah.
I'm a personal fan of, like Gaunt's Ghost finally being a thing is actually really exciting.
Yep.
But
I have a friend who's obsessed with Gaunt's Ghost.
I have the whole book series. I think a good chunk of those books are just really, really good. But
Nice.
and
I've heard good things about him.
and having anything new for guard players is kind of nice.
What, you mean one model every couple years as a random promo that only 5 people in the world can get a hold of isn't enough?
Yeah, who would have thought? But yeah, so there was other stuff, but AOS got the lion's share, which
and
has huh?
and they announced 3.0.
They did announce 3.0, and we're going to get to that real soon. But yeah, a lot of people have been complaining in the 40K forums that AOS is getting all this attention and they're not, and I just pointed to the fact that when Ninth
Dude,
was
Ninth
coming
just
out,
came out.
we didn't get anything for 6 months, and they got
Yeah,
something every week. So
yeah.
calm down, guys. It's our turn in the sun, but that doesn't mean you're neglected. Yeah, there's a lot of just really cool looking stuff.
Yep. Yeah, man. Like every sculpt they showed this Warhammer was on point.
Yes. And, oh man, it keeps tempting me to do armies that I'm never actually going to play, because I can only really devote myself to 2 armies at a time,
Hmm.
because there's more to having an army than just owning it. I need to play it, I need to master it, and there's just way too much out there for me to love, but that I can't just play everything.
That's fair. I respect that.
Yep, I wouldn't call it a curse of being more a player than a hobbyist, but it's definitely one of the downsides.
Yeah. Prior to the pandemic, I think, like, if you count tournaments and then you count the games I played on the weekends with friends and stuff, I got about 6 games a week on average
Oh wow,
uh,
that's like,
in 2019. So it makes it a lot easier to, like, dip your toes into a bunch of armies.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I got 2, which is still more than a lot of people, but not nearly that many.
Yeah.
Uh,
2020, I think I got, like, maybe 40 games in, like, on the high end.
I got 1, and you were there for it.
Nice. Yep.
Oh man, but yeah, we're getting past that. Hopefully, games in the future. Unfortunately,
Woohoo!
I won't be really able to dip my toes into 2.0 Seraphon because 3.0 is coming out probably
Uh-huh.
in the next 2 months or so.
Hey,
Wow.
same shameless pitch for Boise Cup. There's still tickets left, and you can stay with us. We'll
Ugh. Like what? When is that?
June 26th. Yeah.
Give it. Let me. I'll tag it, but oh lord.
Yep.
26.
It's in Boise,
That's
Idaho.
in about
Most of
5 weeks.
Yep, yep. Most of Damama's boys will be going down either to play in 40K or Sigmar.
I'll have to see if I
Uh,
have vacation time for that because that sounds like a lot of fun.
yeah, it is. I'm excited for it. And like the tournament's always fun, but hanging out is
AOS
talking
is far
shop,
more
all
a
of that.
beer and pretzels game than it is a competitive game. You go to have
Yeah,
fun and maybe win a trophy.
yep. It's got a great community.
Mm-hmm.
Like legitimately, like just a week ago, I was at an event, and like everyone's rusty. Like a lot of people are still coming back to it. Um, and my first opponent, it was his first game back. He completely misdeployed. Like he forgot the rules of the game. He
Oh
thought he controlled
no.
an objective when he didn't. I was like, okay, 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 just start over. Like put your stuff where you actually need to put it, and and then do redo your movement phase. Like yeah, and that's just AOS. Like that's not me being exceptionally gracious. That's just the way the AOS community is.
Mm.
Um, and there's not that in any other tabletop game that I've ever played. Um, so yeah, I like the AOS community is the main reason I play AOS.
Mm.
Like, if it weren't for the community, I would just collect a bunch of plastic toys because they look cool. It's the
Right.
community that makes me like actually enjoy going to events,
Yeah, I
and then
think
like hanging out for 6 hours after the event.
I think that's the main benefit from AOS starting as poorly as it did. That it attracted
Yes,
very much a bunch of people there to have fun instead of there to win because there weren't any roles at the beginning. It started very narrative heavy.
every person who showed up to an event was a priceless commodity. You had
Mm.
to make sure they stayed, they fell in love, and they didn't leave.
Yep.
Like that alone, like even though the like, it's more casual, like it's gotten a lot more competitive, and you'll
Right.
still run into to some jerks on that side of
Of
things.
course. Like
But
me.
everyone values other members of the community. Like there's no like running people off or that kind of a thing, really.
Yep. Yeah, 3.0 is coming out, and we've got one or two verified pieces of information and a whole lot of rumors and maybe some speculation we want to go over. Okay,
Yeah.
so rule-wise, what we know is that going second will get you bonus CP, and that the double turn is still a thing. So all of you people
Yes.
out there hopeful that it would disappear, I'm sorry, it's still going to be a thing.
I'm really glad it's still here.
I'm ambivalent. I could go either way. But yeah, it also means that going second is going to be even more of a boon in this game. Because not only are you like threatening a double turn, you're also like getting rewarded for threatening a double turn.
Yep. It does do some things though to like help armies that don't have a good way of weathering alpha strikes. Like it helps all of destruction. For all those destruction lists that can't be low drop, it helps them a lot to be able to have a CP to inspiring presence out the gate. Like it helps Gloomspite, helps ogres, it helps a lot of armies.
Yep. They're, man, poor destruction. They keep getting kicked. At least they got an interesting new god to follow.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he'll give battle shock immunity so that destruction doesn't lose half their army.
As cool as I think he is, I think they should have just brought Gorkamorka in.
I agree. Also, how can you make like a centaur dragon ogre looking guy and not give him to Beast of Chaos?
Yeah.
Like that
That was
I love
kind
that
of
model.
tone deaf.
I'm cool with it being destruction, but he should also be Beast of Chaos. Because that army needs love.
Yeah, they really do. But yeah, the other thing let's see. The other thing we know for sure is that there will be core battalions. That the core rulebook will have generic battalions. We don't know what they'll look like. We don't know what they'll consist of. But we do know that in order to, quote unquote, level the playing field, GW is going to make standard ones like standard realm artifacts. Let's hope they don't go the way of standard realm artifacts. Which, actually, that just makes me bitter that standard realm artifacts aren't a thing anymore.
Even if they are like standard realm artifacts, like let's imagine it is 2 heroes and 3 battle line. That's awesome.
That would be
Seraphon
incredible.
will use that.
Yeah.
Like that's freaking fantastic for us. Like there's no bad to core battalions for Seraphon.
Yes. I'm hoping it allows auxiliary units because I want any way to buff my Kroxigor.
Yep.
But yeah, man, it is so hard to make to buff Kroxigor. I don't know why it's that hard, but it is.
In terms of speculation, I'm kind of guessing there's going to be one that like bring your general another hero and some units, and then your general can use command abilities on all those units regardless of range for generic ones. Like I'm expecting something like that.
Wow, that would be incredible for some people.
Like use
and
Volley
useless for other
Fire,
people.
all out attack, or whatever. Like only the generic ones. I don't think you'd be able to use War Script, but I don't know. That's sort of. I expect something like that.
I'm expecting at least one battalion that gives +1 on the charge.
Yeah, maybe something that gives bravery too.
One, yeah. I'm not sure if it'll give immunity, because I'm going to be honest, I think that bravery should matter again, and the less chances at immunity, the better.
So I think Games Workshop has kind of put themselves in a rough place to make bravery important, because destruction just has bad bravery. Like there's a lot of destruction units with 4 bravery, and so then you make something like the Cath Caller with a spell who can just make a unit not participate.
Well, then you do the simple thing and you give them commissars, because that's very destruction-y. I mean, ogres already do that.
Yeah,
like give a general destruction order called Crump de Git that lets them if a hero's nearby, they can kill a model in order to get +4 to battle shock tests or something.
Yeah, that's fair. But there's so much stuff for bravery that isn't necessarily battle shock. Like if I roll higher than your bravery, you can't get closer to me. And like you can do that to a Maw Crusher. Like there's just so much stuff that hurts destruction really badly
Then
because
here's how you
of
fix that.
bravery.
Stop giving Chaos 10s. Stop giving Seraphon 10s for that matter. Like 8, if you're going to have people with 4 bravery, I think 8 should be the max.
Hmm.
Because double the lowest amount is already insane amount of increasing of that.
Oh, agreed. Yeah.
Like, either make the lowest you can go 5, which is still really pathetic, or yeah, or there's plenty of ways around this. Like give
Hmm.
destruction could have key destruction rules that fit destruction flavor, like crump to get or strength in Damob, kind of like how Skaven have. Only it affects
Yeah.
their base bravery
Modifier.
characteristic instead of
Yeah.
being a modifier.
Yep.
Which means yes, bravery can hurt them, but only after you've killed some of them.
Yep.
Like there are ways to fix this problem that aren't just bravery doesn't matter, and the reason it doesn't matter is because destruction's feelings might be hurt.
Yeah. That's
Like
fair.
in fact, I think that a couple like key thematic overarching rules for different allegiances would be kind of nifty. Like
Yeah. I'd actually like to see each Grand Allegiance get some stuff that affects them, and then they're also allegiance.
yeah,
Like I'd like to
I
see
mean
chaos get rules that affects all of chaos all the time.
every single death army has 6 up is ward.
Yep.
Stop putting that in the books and just make that if you're Grand Alliance death, you get this.
Yep. Yeah, and give something for like each of the Grand Allegiances.
Right. And it makes
That'd be cool.
sense because that's nifty. Like you could have chaos one where, like what would I have in general? Skaven kind of screw with that, but
Well, I mean, I think the bravery stuff for destruction would be great.
right, the bravery stuff to destruction fits as a problem and makes them look really neat. It's thematic.
Yep.
We have the death one where they all get the ward and they can have actually nifty bits in their book that aren't just yeah you get this.
Yep. I
Um,
think Chaos back in the day used to have a Grand Allegiance thing that was like Overlords of Destruction or something like that,
mm,
where sixes to hit. What did they do? It was like they automatically wounded or something. Man, it's been so long. This was Age of Sigmar 1.
right.
But they used to have something where sixes were special. It might have only been sixes against order units as well. Like, that wouldn't surprise
Stop
me.
with the racist rules. They aren't good, and I hate having to pay for them. I
Hmm.
know that our Bastiladons are good against chaos, but they're not good against everyone else, and it's because they're good against chaos.
Yeah. Oh, incidentally, Croak is still ridiculous against Chaos. Uh, like I knew he was good, and then I played a game against Chaos Demons, and it was
And
over real
yeah,
quick.
no, he's yeah. It just feels unfair because
Yeah, it really does.
like this is a collaborative game. You're playing with your opponent, not against your opponent. And just oh, you decided to play the army that you like. Well, you get punished for that because
Yep.
Seraphon do that.
Yep.
It is very
Flagship.
thematic, but I really hate the results of that thematic feel.
Hmm.
It just makes people feel bad. But yeah,
Honestly, what I would like to see, because I think they've done a really good job in 1 and 2 developing competitive play.
hmm
I would like to see more things for narrative play that aren't just like some weird janky randomized table that you roll on.
hmm
Like give some actual specific rules for narrative play. Like
well, they've been
in
doing
narrative
that pretty
play.
consistently as well. Like we've got the Sky Battle rules, which are a lot of fun. We have
Yeah, yeah, but I'd like to like see army rules and allegiance ability rules. Like battle tomes in 3.0, I would like to see narrative play allegiance abilities.
I'm going
Um
to be honest, I have a feeling that's going to cause more strife than anything else. I have
hmm.
a feeling that the people who are not playing narrative are going to be, oh, why can't we use this? And I don't think narrative is prevalent enough that it gets its entire own rule set. It,
I
it
don't
also
know. I
seems
think
really
narrative's how most people play because most people play Garage Hammer,
hmm, possibly.
but maybe not.
I think more often than Garage Hammer, where somebody gets together 4 times a year, is people playing in stores and in clubs, and they're almost all match play.
That's true. Yeah, definitely for stores.
Hmm. And so, maybe that does sound. I think they have a lot of narrative scenarios and battle plans that are exactly
Hmm.
that. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility.
Yeah, and like the siege rules are always cool. Like they've done, I think
Yep.
they're on their fourth iteration of siege rules now, and they only get better.
Hmm.
Um,
It's yeah. It's not my wheelhouse. I really don't play narrative. The only place I play is match play. So I don't have
I
I don't have friends who play Warhammer. I have the local store.
so this is probably going to sound pathetic, but I don't care. I play narrative with myself. Um,
Really?
yeah, I really enjoy it. I don't know why, but I like sometimes I'll just
I
go out to
mean,
the
we're
club,
essentially
set up
playing
some
with
tables.
toy soldiers, so that's just an extension of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and like in narrative, it's not like I'm gonna. I don't know. It doesn't matter if one side's better or not. Like I can just put together some fluffy list and like throw them together and see how the story goes.
Hmm.
Like because it's randomized through dice. So it's not quite as bad as like playing Dungeons and Dragons with yourself, which I've done. But yeah.
But yeah. Let's see. Is there anything you're wanting out of 3.0 before we address the major rumors?
Um, I want shooting meta to not be the only viable meta. That's my big complaint with the current state of the game.
Yeah, the thing about
Um,
shooting is that it either matters or it doesn't. For
no, I
really,
mean, old
because
shootcast used to be perfectly fine. City shooting, like back in the day when they were free guild, like they've had shooting in the game
Free
where
Guild
shooting
was
was a
terrible back in the day. I played Free Guild. It was not good, and shooting was not what you used. You used a whole bunch of generals on griffins because they were cheap as dirt.
yeah, but like the gun, I don't know, man. Some people took the free guild great company gun lines with the shooting when you get charged and they all get to shoot and stuff to
Hmm.
events, and they did pretty well. Um, and shootcast was always a thing. Like after Long Strike Raptors came out, um, original KO back before they got changed
They got
and ended
changed
up being
because they
crap.
were so oppressively powerful, and then they got nerfed into the dirt.
Yeah, but there was an in between that they definitely could have done. Like the problem was people spamming mortars and hiding at the edge of the board. Uh, and that's all that needed to get fixed. They didn't need to nerf
Hmm.
everything.
Any ideas for how
So,
you would fix it?
um, yeah, you can't shoot into combat unless you're into combat. Um, like not being able to, if you're in combat with a unit, or if a unit's within combat with another unit, you can't shoot them. Um, you can only shoot into combat if the unit firing is the one in combat. Um, like that alone would give combat armies a lot more options
Hmm.
because now they can get into combat and use bodies as shields so they can't be shot at in order to control your target priority. Um,
Even better, misses when you shoot into combat, hit your own guys.
yeah, but if it's like skinks, I don't care, right? Like I'm like, yeah,
Right.
whatever, I'll blast my skinks away. Um,
Primarily, that's what I'm thinking. Is normally Skaven. That's how they play. Maybe it can be a. Oh, maybe that can be a
yeah,
chaos rule. The
yep,
overarching chaos rule is you can shoot into melee, but you hit your own guys.
yep. Um, I don't know. I think command point, like some universal command abilities, you could definitely use to like if you had to take cover or something,
Hmm.
um, like just to give you a negative one to be hit with missile weapons or something for that round on that unit. Like there's definitely ways to reduce the effectiveness of shooting, um, because the game's just less fun. Like one of the tactical things I loved about Age of Sigmar was how much movement mattered
Hmm.
in Age of Sigmar, and now that shooting's just gotten ridiculous. It's not just that it's like 24 inches; it's like 36 inches, and this unit has a 6-inch movement. And this unit can move 6 inches at the start of the game before either player has a turn.
And ignores line of
And
sight.
this unit can double move, and it ignores line of sight. Like, that basically says deploy the unit wherever you want. It'll shoot what you want it to.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem. Same for KO. Like, KO can literally just deploy in a corner, and then they can put their stuff anywhere they want to put it within range of shooting on their turn. That's just bad for the game. Like, it devalues strategic play by your opponent, and it rewards mindless play on the shooting army, on KO, on Lumineth. Like, at least with Seraphon, for our deep strike, our salamanders have 12 inches.
Which is really easy to screen out.
Yeah, if you can't screen it, you're bad at the game.
Yep.
Or you build a bad list.
I keep thinking that whenever people decry salamanders as the best thing ever. I don't want to say it outright, but if you think salamanders are the best thing ever, you're bad at the game.
Salamanders do really high consistent damage.
Right.
For a still pretty reasonable price point. But there's things that are better than them.
Right. Yeah, I can agree. I've always been a melee foot slogger type player.
Yep.
Like all of my armies, with the exception of Iron Drakes, and I played Iron Drakes when they were bad people. All those, I don't play the ranged army. I play melee grinder armies. I just think they're more fun, and I would like them to be more of an option without necessarily being teleport. Oh, speaking of which, I don't want teleport in every army.
Yeah, but I mean, I also feel bad taking it from the people that have it, right?
I mean,
like,
what's the point of having it as a special thing, or I don't know, an allegiance ability?
That's
if it's something everyone has.
Or you can get through a battalion.
Sure,
like
it's powerful,
Change Host or Shadow Patrol.
Like, Change Host is disgusting, and like Shadow Patrol is even more so. Like, holy crap! But
a part of me does want to play 60 Warlocks in Shadow Patrol, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, that just sounds fun. Like, quarrels for days.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of man. If we're talking about gimping shooting meta, do you think that Lookout Sir should be adjusted to the 40k version? I keep hearing people thinking that's an awesome idea, but I'm not sure I agree.
No. So what I'd rather see, instead of the you can't target them, or instead of the -1 to hit, I would like to see units be able to act as a blade of wounds.
Just in general?
Yep, against shooting.
That kind of makes guard even more worthless, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'd like to see. Like, against shooting attacks, units that, like, the same applying for Lookouts are, like, has to be 3 or more models within 3 inches. They can, on, like, a 4-up, take the damage. I'd like to see that. Because it doesn't really change who you target, right? Like, you're still going to target the hero, and eventually it will spill over. But what it does stop is people being able to reliably split fire and give themselves, like, 2 extra points of damage on 2 different heroes, in turn 1 take out 2 support heroes, and then to validate the entire strategy. Like, that's kind of the problem with shooting. Shooting's really, really good at picking off support heroes, and a lot of armies in AOS, especially combat armies, are very reliant on their support heroes.
Yes.
Which just makes it that much harder.
Yep, it's why we're so good.
Combat armies. Yep. So I'd like to see something more like that. Like, let units be a blade of wounds to a hero on a 4+.
Fair enough. Huh.
But I don't think that's happening. But
yeah.
That's how I would.
There's also the pie in the sky wish listing that I've been on about for forever. I still want toughness in our game. I know it's not a popular opinion. I just really do.
So what I would actually like to see, it's basically the same thing, but it's streamlined and it doesn't make people do math. I would like to see something that's more like built into the war scroll. Like, if your unit is an exceptionally strong unit, give it +1 to wound. Or if it's an exceptionally tough unit, like a dragon, just innately give it -1 to be wounded. Instead of doing the whole like modifier strength toughness. I think strength toughness is better. But AOS seems really adverse to doing that. So if they're not going to do it, I want to see like zombie dragons be -1 to be wounded, star drakes -1 to be wounded, unless it's by another behemoth. So I don't know,
that's
maybe
fair.
just a behemoth rule in general. Behemoths are -1 to be wounded unless it's another behemoth.
That I'd actually be all for that. I don't think that's a perfect solution, but I think that's a much better solution than what we have.
Mm-hmm.
But fair enough. Let's see. I think that covers.
I don't know. Maybe then you have like the special monster hunter units, like prosecute or protectors
or big stabbers.
Or big stabbers. Have them ignore that rule. Like that could be one of their special things. Like I don't know. That's something I think would make behemoths more viable in general.
Which is the main reason that I like the toughness and different types of weapon rules that 40k has. Because in 40k, tanks matter. In AOS, monsters really don't. Like, with the exception of a few really powerful ones.
That's true. That's true. Like Catacross, Batacross. Yeah. Be'lakor, the new Be'lakor. Even though I like the old one better for strategic reasons. I've played 3 games now with Legion of the First Prince, and he's gotten a lot of work done for me. And it was against shooting armies.
I think that's mainly because his entire army is built to keep him alive, though.
Yes, it is. Like that 4+ to soak wounds is huge. And he's a beast. Like, he does
just
so much damage.
He rolls into them and just, they're gone.
Yeah. Especially against, like, things with a 4-up save. Like, yeah.
All right.
So, yeah.
But yeah, we do have two major rumors on 3.0 to address. Why do they call it 3.0 if they never have a 3.1, 3.2, or so on? Third edition. Regardless. And one, I think, is far more credible than the other. But let's start out with the uncredible one. Generally, there is one big Reddit thread that supposedly leaked a whole bunch of 3.0 rules. One of which being that there wouldn't be War Scroll battalions. Battletome battalions anymore. Which a lot of people ran with, and I got a hold of before I knew the source of, and I regret it now. I do not think this is going to happen. And if it does, I'm going to post a bunch of memes about GW having its head up its butt, because that is a terrible idea.
So, I don't like it, but I can see how that would make the game more balanced.
I don't. I can see how that would actually destroy all the people who are working hard to just hold it together. A lot of the people who rely on battalions, like rely on battalions and not just win more with battalions, will be absolutely crushed by the loss of them. Like, Nurgle isn't the best army out there, and the only reason it's doing well is the fact that it has that battalion. Like, Old Death only held together. Old Death only held together as long as it did because of Death Rattle battalions. Like, so many suffering armies that really don't do well. Ogres only work because of their battalion. But, yeah.
Yeah, but okay, think about it this way. A lot of the armies that are only holding together because of their battalions are doing that because of how low of drop they get to, not because of the effect of the battalion. So if generic battalions are built in such a way that anyone, if they choose to, can go 1 drop, it won't be an issue.
Possibly, but I'm going to point out that I think this is the same situation as losing all those realm artifacts. And I was right. that the suffering armies suffered worse after the loss of
Oh yeah,
generic artifacts, and that in this case, this won't bring balance. This will just further the divide.
yeah. I mean, allegiance abilities and war scrolls matter the most for any army.
Mm-hmm.
Like
But
battalions are impactful, but if you have good war scrolls and good allegiance abilities, that's all you need.
all you need. But if you don't have them, having good
Exactly.
battalions are a close second.
Yes. Yep.
Yep,
Yeah,
that.
like Supreme Saberites, amazing battalion in a pretty middle of the road army,
Mhm.
but it helps make them a lot more viable.
Yeah, like Gits. Gits only holds together at the moment because of battalions. Like the Squig battalion that makes Squigs usable. The
Yep.
uh,
Troll battalion.
Troll battalion that makes Trolls usable. Like in my books, demogryphs don't work outside of Hammerfall because they need that battalion.
Yep. Yep.
And I can
That's
keep
fair.
going. There's a lot of units, specifically units in armies that are less popular but can do well because battalions let them.
Yeah, like the Hex Wraith battalion, and yep, that's
Yeah,
true.
I, yeah. This probably isn't true, and it's a good thing because that's an awful idea. Yep. The other major rumor is that um, bonuses. The
Hmm.
rumor is in general, but there are variations that it's only to hit and wound and save. Bonuses will all be limited to one.
I thought it was modifiers, so even negatives.
Modifiers, yes. Both bonuses and negatives. You're right, modifiers. Which means you can't get someone to -3 anything, although there are only two people who could do that, and poor Gits. Poor
Yep.
Gits.
Which means Rend 1 is the highest Rend?
Uh, Rend, adding Rend. So, like, Beasts of Chaos, who can add +2 Rend, can't do that anymore, but base Rend is still base Rend.
Gotcha. So would the same be true for base casting?
Possibly?
Like,
I
could
think
a
so.
clan get to +2 then? Because they've got a base +1?
I don't know. It's a rumor and it's not confirmed. It would need a
Yeah, so
Narada if so. Because if it is just based on the War Scroll, maybe? I don't know.
if it is only modifiers of one straight out, Teclis just got that much better.
Yes, Teclis became the
Like
most powerful caster by a
we
large margin.
we now probably can't beat Lumineth Realm Lords. Because I've played about 11 games versus Lumineth Realm Lords. Uh where like we were actually trying and it wasn't just janky lists.
Hmm.
And of those 11, I've won 10. I don't think I would have won any of them if I couldn't get to my bonuses to casting that I could get to.
Hmm. But yeah, it also for us it kind of makes Kawada Claw completely useless. As the only reason to take Kawada's Claw is to get +2 to hit,
Yep.
and so you just never would.
Yep. Now you'll just be Thunder Lizards
Thunder
or
Lizards or
generic.
Dracothian Stagel. But yeah, it I understand why they do it. They would do it. It makes the most sense out of all of the speculation so far because some of the bonuses can get really hard to balance when you aren't paying attention and GW doesn't pay attention.
Yeah, and -3 to hit is just it gets ridiculous.
Right, right.
Um,
Some of the negatives to hit are just out of this world. It's
that's like Nurgle's
really
whole
silly.
shtick, though. So
Huh?
like Nurgle and Seraphon would get hit pretty hard by those changes.
Yep. So it gets because
Mhm.
GW just
Yeah,
hates them for some reason. It.
Gloomspite can get to -4 if you do things
Mhm.
right.
I think it's also made so that heroes aren't as important because if you don't need to layer buffs, you only need one or two heroes. And I
Mm.
think that some of the rules in Soulblight actually confirm this because some of the buffs in Soulblight are expansive. They cover like hit, wound, and even saves in some cases. And that kind of lends credence to the fact that these aren't supposed to be layering different heroes anymore.
Yeah.
You're just supposed to have one or two heroes that can put on wide buffs. This might just be a Soul Blight thing, or this might be a third edition thing. We don't
That's
know.
true.
It's still very
It
early.
very much feels like a death thing. I do got to say that.
It
Like
does,
the
yes.
idea that there's one or two powerful wizards leading a giant horde of undead, and that starts to fall apart once those heroes are dead.
Mhm.
That's always been death's thing.
Yes. If it's just thematic, then awesome. If it's a sign of things to come, then things could get really painful really quickly. We'll have to see.
Honestly, I would be okay with like hit, wound, and save values being capped at modifiers plus or minus one in either direction.
Hmm.
But casting, like, that's a big part of Korn's thing is getting people to -3 to casting rolls. Um,
Well, I think the Corn's going to be getting a new book pretty soon because he's,
oh, for sure.
yeah, just like Stormcast is probably getting a new book very soon because they
Yep.
are the big two that GW tends to dote upon. And so if their goal is to limit casting because it's gotten out of hand, and it can be argued that it has, they can always just rewrite rules.
Yeah, but I mean, you just stay out of freaking range. Like,
I mean, yes, but remember, not everyone is competitive level of play. And
that's fair. Pre-measure, guys. Pre-measure.
yep,
If you can't eyeball it, measure.
and
It's
GW
better to let your
pays.
opponent know what you're thinking
Mm,
than to not think it.
yep, GW pays way too much attention to Facebook gamers, and Facebook gamers are not the best gamers.
That's fair.
So, yeah, those are the major rumors. I think that the first one probably not true. The second one probably true. We to
At
the
least true in
extent is the
part.
part where we're quibbling on,
Yep.
and I, mm, I'm
I'd be fine with it.
I'd be fine with either. To be perfectly honest, I think we could adapt.
I'll probably stop running dual slan,
Yeah,
but
in general, all these effects hurt Seraphon. Oops.
except the battalions.
Uh, you mean general battalions?
Yeah, generic battalions
Yeah,
help us.
only if they're actually any good, and generic stuff sometimes is.
Gotta say, I don't think they'll be worse than any of the Starborn battalions. Like,
With the exception of the one that's mandatory.
yeah, the SARS one.
Yeah,
But again, SARS aren't what's max competitive anyways.
I would agree. But
So like in terms of Seraphon competitive play, like literally just getting something that's like a hero and some battle line, that's awesome. It gets us a command point to start out the gate with, gets us an extra artifact. Now I can finally take itchy grubs. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I that I think is pretty likely to help Seraphon.
mm, the rest a little less so. So cross your fingers, guys. Yeah, and oh man,
I mean, we had a nice long reign of terror.
yeah,
It's
where
okay.
nobody got to play.
That's fair. Yeah.
Oh man, it's not GW's fault, but that does feel bad.
It does. It does.
I got like this limited edition book because I wanted to support Seraphon that badly, and I'm not going to get to use it because it's going to be completely obsolete by the time games are going.
I got the limited edition, and then I bought the regular one because I didn't want to scratch the limited edition up. So the limited edition lives on my bookshelf. What number is yours?
5. Yeah, give me a second.
Mine is 401 out of 700.
Yeah, I think mine's 5 something. I'll be right back.
No.
Entertain people.
Entertain people. If you didn't get the limited edition Seraphon book, you definitely should have because it is really pretty. Even just the gold leafing is beautiful.
Yeah, mine's 566.
566, nice.
Yeah.
We gotta get like name tags or something for when we go to events, and we'll put our limited edition book numbers on them.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, Warhammer Fest was, in general, a lot of new stuff to talk about. Some good,
Yeah.
some bad, some just crazy speculation. Like I've heard people talking about them bringing back charge reactions, which would not be a good idea, but might be fun. Unless they fix shooting like you want, charge reactions would just make melee even less useful.
So what I think would be cool and could help combat is if they went back to like a winning or losing combat type mechanic, where like, do you have a standard? How many units did you kill? Is your bravery higher? Like that plus and minus thing to find out if you won. And then if you won combat, there's a chance for something to happen. Like, I don't think it should be the unit has to rout.
Yeah.
That was problematic.
Yep.
But
that was always. I know that old fantasy was a lot of fun, and it was, but that was always a really weird mechanic. It always made it was win more instead of just.
Except when they somehow managed to fail to do any damage to your Doom Will, and your Doom Will wins combat, and then they run away, and then you roll 16 on your pursuit, and you kill the whole unit.
That was always really weird.
Yep. There was a ancient history for the club. There was one battle table that was a series of slopes that they had at the old Mama's Boys clubhouse. And a Doom Will once literally made it from one end of the table all the way down to the other side, lengthwise 6 feet, off of its first turn, and killed the longswords, high elf longswords, made them run off the table.
Oh no!
It was awesome to watch. But yeah, fantasy was a crazy game.
Still is, and probably will be again whenever, like, Old World comes out.
Oh, one other thing from Warhammer: Kislev in Warcraft 3.
Oh yeah, Warcraft 3 released gameplay trailer, and it looks sweet. I know most of our audience, only like half of our audience cares, but I am looking forward to it. I'm not the best player of Total Warhammer, but I'm willing to bring it, people.
Nice. All right, I think
that covers pretty.
If you don't stop.
Yeah, there's a lot to just waffle about, but yeah, but we've covered pretty much everything important, and the jungle is calling me home. So thank you for joining us, everyone. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you.